Suzuki's Josh Strang won the previous Grand National Cross Country race in shocking fashion. Dealing with persistent rain and mud and a strong challenge from rookie Corey Buttrick, Strang led in the last lap. So the race was called. The conditions were impassable and Strang wins again. Can they get him this time?
Playing in the dirt, face full of mud, sacrificing flesh and blood. Playing in the dirt, digging in the ground. Oh, now I'm asking you, where you gonna be when it all goes down, 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 down?
Well, hello everyone and welcome to Union, South Carolina, host of the Pirelli Big Buck Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Series event. Jason Wygant, of course, your host here on Racer TV. Bikes, mechanics, teams, riders readying for a 3-hour epic battle through the woods today, luckily devoid of rain and mud like our last race in North Carolina. Our amateur riders are just wrapping up their 10 a.m. event. Our youth riders are already finished. Let's talk to Krista Shaw in the pits with our top riders.
All right, we're here with round 3, second place finisher Corey Buttrick. Corey, you got your first XC1 podium. It's got to feel pretty good to get the monkey off your back. How are you going to bring that to the race today?
Mainly just try to do the same thing I did in North Carolina, just try to get off to another really good start. I know it's important to get close to the front as quick as I can, and which it should be good. I'm really looking forward to today. It's a little bit drier than I'd like, but it'll be all right. I'm really excited.
All right, we're here with the series points leader, Josh Strang. Josh, you've won the first 3 races in a row. What's it going to take to make it number 4?
Just the same stuff I've been doing every weekend. Get a good start and work hard and be there at the end and ride the track how I know how to ride.
Wow, some in-depth strategy there from Strang, but can't argue with the results. He's making it work right now. There's Strang in the number 2. The guy is going after for the championship, Paul Whibley, in the number 1, who you saw earlier has been struggling big time this year, and you got to figure Whibley is going to get back into victory lane sooner rather than later. Watch out for Charlie Mullins in the number 3. Also, he'll be strong. Chris Bach, the spectacular rookie, on the number 14. Waiting for Thad Duvall to find his stride this year. There are so many riders that can knock off Strang. Will his luck run out today? Let's find out. Duking it out into the first turn, it looks like. Oh, I thought it was Jimmy Jarrett going to grab the whole shot, but instead it's Whibley. He's got $250 from MotorcycleUSA.com for that whole shot. Like we said, could today be the day? Oh, he's already been shuffled back by Jarrett. That's his old teammate on that Geico JG Racing Kawasaki team. And you heard Corey Buttrick at the beginning of our show say it was a little bit dry for his taste. You see how dusty it is. And you want to be able to see where you're going when you're snaking through these trees. Eric Bailey and Jedediah Haynes up front, 3rd and 4th in their privateer Kawasaki's. And we wait for some of the big superstars to roll their way toward the front. There goes Strang, there goes Mullins, and there goes Bach. Let's go back to the starting line, meanwhile, for our XC2 class. The 250cc bikes. Running 2 and 4. Oh, man, a rider down there, 2 and 4 strokes. I was going to say mixed in this class. And it's Dustin Gibson, who's back in the class this year, one of the KTM 2-stroke who grabs the whole shot. So well done for DG, but he's quickly giving up the lead to Caleb Russell on the number 1. Russell, the defending champ of this up-and-coming division. And look out for him next year against the 450s, or heck, look out for him in the overall. These guys only start 1 minute behind, so if he gets within a minute of the overall leaders, he'll have the lead on adjusted time. Don't think for a second that Russell isn't thinking of trying to win an overall on a 250. Rest of the field squeezes their way through those trees. Let's go back to our XC1 leaders on the 450s. Jarrett, Whibley, and Haynes rolling through the number 3 spot. Now it's Eric Bailey under pressure from Thad Duvall. Here comes Glenn Carney on the Husqvarna. Nate Canny on the KTM. Barry Hawk on a Yamaha. Mullins on a Yamaha. Buttrick, Strang, and Bach. So a lot of the guys who have been running up on the podium positions early this season are in the back, while Jimmy Jarrett, Paul Whibley, who had some bad luck this year, here's Duvall up to 3rd. He's had his share of bad luck as well. Are looking to take advantage. And that's the way it goes early in these races. The guys just getting a feel for this track. You won't see any panic from riders like Strang or Mullins, Buttrick. They'll take their time working their way to the front, but they better not. Look at that. That is Russell out of the XC2 class. He has already caught the tail end for our pro riders. Jarrett beginning to stretch it out now from his old teammate Whibley. But I think Russell could be in the overall lead in adjusted time. We'll find out the next time they go through the finish line, which would actually be the first time. And we'll get the transponders out and see where they are on time. Nice job by Candy there to jump that Pirelli Creek jump, making up some ground. Glenn Carney will do it as well. You see the fans here in South Carolina love to venture down in this valley and check out the action. There goes Mullins. Here goes Buttrick. And then the rookie Bach. And Jimmy Jarrett injured his shoulder at round 2 of the series in a big first turn crash, so good to see him back up to speed. He is always quick off the gun, the starts of these things. We'll see if the shoulder can hold out. And there's Strang working his way forward. And then Carney comes through next. And look at the pack following Carney. You can let the guys go the first couple of miles on the first lap, but you want to keep in touch with the leaders. Don't let them get away. Got some fans pointing out lines, and that was a good one there. Buttrick going to make up some ground, and he's got the XC2 leaders right behind him. This is interesting. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Well, at the top of our show, we mentioned our amateur races for up-and-coming riders and youth racers on bikes. We also race ATVs every Saturday in the GNCC Tour, all kinds of ATVs, including our utility classes. So maybe you got a quad sitting there in the garage that you use to plow snow or work on the farm. Bring it out, come race. Although I don't know if you'll be able to take on guys like Michael Swift and Cliff Beasley, Brian McCannon. They haul on those big machines, really fun to watch. And of course, we have our Pro ATV division as well. So whether you have a bike or quad, come out to an upcoming GNCC event after our summer break. It'll be the time of your life. Great time for the Geico JG Racing team right now as their man Jimmy Jarrett leads the way at this Pirelli Big Buck GNCC. Jason Wygant gives it the call as Paul Whibley and Thad Duvall goes by. Second and third, they are now teammates in the Yamaha squad. And Josh Strang, winner of the first 3 races this year, has worked his way up to 4th. And that's all Strang wants to do, keep in touch. Same thing with Mullins, not messing around. Just as soon as Strang put the hammer down, Mullins did the same. Look at this, leaping out of those corners, be careful. Top 3, all 3 of them almost went down, but they've got to hustle. Here comes Strang, here comes Mullins. It's on now. Glenn Carney hitching a ride as well on the Husky 250. And here's the rest of the pack. Russell leading Jason Thomas in the XC2 class, and they've gotten around Buttrick. So where's it going to break first? Will someone get to Jarrett, or will this Strang and Mullins combination get to Duvall and Whibley? Carney staying right there with them as well. This is where it gets exciting. Those guys were on cruise control the first couple of miles, but they're turning it up now. Russell and Thomas still leading Buttrick. And yeah, the muddy conditions seem to favor the number 8 at Buttrick, but today it's dry, it's dusty, and Thad Duvall has taken over the lead over Strang. So 2 things happened at the same time. They got to Jarrett, the leader, and then that Strang and Mullins combination worked their way through. They're up to 2nd and 3rd. Oh, and Whibley to the back of that group. That's been the way things have been going for our defending champion this year. There's our defending XC2 champion, Russell. He is on a mission at the Big Buck. Woo, but Thad Duvall is as well. He's your leader. Strang is 2nd, but Duvall is pulled away. Looks like Carney up to 3rd. Then Jarrett, where is Mullins, who was making tracks earlier? We see Whibley go by, and now Mullins. Oh, that's a huge costly mistake. He was trying to follow Strang through. Now he'll have to deal with Russell, and then Barry Hawk comes through next. So Russell is slicing through the 450 riders. Duvall trying to get away up front. Speed never an issue for Bad Thad. And I think Strang knows it. He's just going to cruise back here in 2nd and see if Duvall gives him an opportunity to get back into it. Nice ride so far for Carney, the Australian, in the number 3 spot. But how about Thad Duvall, 2-time GNCC Youth Overall Champ, a GNCC Amateur Champ, an XC2 Champion, We've been waiting for days like this for Duvall to put his considerable talent on a 450 to the front of the pack and pull away from the best in the world, and that's what he's done with Strang and Carney behind him. But consistency. He's got to try not to crash it away. Don't throw it away. And that's what Bad Thad has been doing the last couple of years. It's either a bad case of bad luck or maybe some bad decisions. He's had it all happen. He has had an incredible run of mechanical failures, which are definitely not his fault. But there have been some other races, such as round 2 this year in Georgia, where Thad Duvall was doing just this, pulling away early, and then he crashed and dropped out of the #1 position. So if you're Josh Strang, I don't know if you can keep pace speed-wise, at least early, but you gotta wonder if the mistake is coming from Duvall. This is going to be a very interesting race to follow. Stay with us here on Racer TV. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Thaddeus Duvall out of Williamstown, West Virginia leads the way here on the number 989. Scored so few points last year due to so many mechanical failures and DNFs that he wasn't even ranked in the series. Just Strang here, who is number 2, and then Glenn Carney, the number 16, who is in 3rd. But that could all go away with one race. If Duvall figures out the combination, he could be impossible to stop, and he sure does have it figured out right now. He's got a nice size lead over the competition, and he came from pretty far back to get there. The kid is spectacular to watch. Strang knows it, Carney knows it. To just try to run him down just by picking up the pace could be dangerous. But they can't slow down too much. They've got Whibley and Mullins now back on the charge. Both those Yamaha riders made some mistakes early, and they're trying to rebound. Look at Duvall flying through this section. Strang doing his best to keep him within sight. And now Carney as well. Carney now makes his racing home in Hickory, North Carolina, so he's definitely comfortable here in this Carolina soil. And it looks like Whibley is closing the gap on him. Now into the pits for the first time today, Duvall getting a full tank of fuel from the Ampro Yamaha crew. That's his dad, Chad, handling the gas can. Chad is a former top ATV pro in this series, who's now retired to focus on this, getting his son to win his first ever GNCC overall. Josh Strang is going to be hard to stop, though. He's won a lot of them the last couple of years, so Strang knows what it takes. And what a day for Glenn Carney. He's riding on a much smaller bike, the 254 stroke. He's down on power, but he doesn't want to race that XC2 class. He thinks this bike can go after the best in the world. Looks like new goggles for Glenn, who's got his brother Ben doing the fueling for him today. He'll lose a spot to Whibley, but Whibley will have to pit a little later on. Time for our Rocky Mountain Spotlight. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Derek Shaw. I race Open B in the GNCC series. This week's Rocky Mountain Spotlight will be on the G-Force Richter wheel kit.
Thanks, Derek. Retails for $499.99 and it includes one front and one rear complete wheel. Performance assembly for motocross and off-road racing applications includes pre-assembled wheels, complete with rim, spokes, hub, sealed bearings, seals, and hard anodized wheel spacers. The Rim M hub feature a shot peen matte black anodized finish for durability and awesome visual appeal. The rim is constructed from 7075 T6 aluminum to be the strongest wheel in the market, and the hub is forged, not cast, from 6061 T6 aluminum and CNC machine for a precision fit, increased strength, and maximum weight savings. The spokes and nipples are made from quality 304 stainless steel, and the spokes feature dual diameter construction, making them stronger and lighter than most aftermarket spokes. Available for most big bike motorcycles, again, $499.99. Hey, Derek, where do we get more info?
For more information on the G-Force wheel kit, go to RockyMountainMC.com.
Well, so far, no special parts needed for Thad Duvall. Oh, wait a minute, maybe not. Josh Strang closing the gap now. End of lap 2, Duvall had a 20-second lead, but it is down to about half of that now. And the fans are cheering Strang forward. He has really picked up his pace from that opening lap. Duvall's going to have to deal with the man who is undefeated so far this year, and also deal with some lap riders. One other thing to wonder about is the conditioning in 3 hours, endurance-wise, of Duvall. Simply unproven. Hasn't even gotten to the finish line that often the last 2 years. Now we go back to Whibley and Mullins duking it out third and fourth. They've displaced Glenn Carney. And let's see if they can make a run at these guys. Strang has caught Duvall straight up now. He is applying pressure, and we know Strang's conditioning is first rate, second to none. Trains with the 5-time GNCC champ Rodney Smith out in California in the offseason. He has come in ready as we watch Mullins and Whibley still duking it out third and fourth. And not too much further back, there's Caleb Russell on that KTM 250, leading the XC2 class and trying to catch these guys on adjusted time. Duvall versus Strang is going to get good. Stay tuned. Racer TV is brought to you by Can-Am and by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. How long will the Josh Strang win streak last? He has won the first 3 rounds of the 2010 Can-Am Grand National Cross Country Tour, but he is in second place today. Here he is on the number 2. Got the white background and the red number because he is the series points leader. Everyone else in the class runs the reverse, red background, white number, including this man, Thad Duvall. That's the man who is putting it 2 with 2 laps to go, Strang, and he's actually pulled back away. So we've reached the 2-hour mark. We've got an hour to go, 2 laps, and Strang's going to have to dig down deep. I thought once he had caught Duvall, this thing was over. Maybe not. One of these days, Thad Duvall's going to put it in victory lane. Strang knows it. He's got to hold this kid's momentum off. Woo! And he's going as fast as he can to do it. Here's Whibley in third. Mullins has been shadowing him for a long time. Whibley is very, very strong down the stretch in these races, but I think Mullins has saved some energy by following. And you can see Strang back here. He can see Duvall on some of the longer stretches, just trying to keep the heat on and maybe force the young man into a mistake. Whibley and Mullins doing the same. Then it is Carney, Hawk, Buttrick, and Bach in the order. Strang closing back in on Duvall. There were 10 seconds between them when they got to that 2-lap board. And Strang's in the lead. Strang has taken the lead. Where is Duvall? And it's still Duvall in the number 2 position, but that's a big shake-up. So finally the pressure being applied by Strang has allowed the Australian to get to the lead. And now he's going to put the hammer down. Can Duvall respond? The fans definitely want it. They're cheering for him. The Ampro Yamaha team, their headquarters, Randy Hawkins, the H Ranch, not too far from here in South Carolina. So the Ampro squad's got a lot of people in the woods, and they want to see Duvall get the lead back. And we go back to Whibley and Mullins. Nearly a minute between second and third right now. And then Caleb Russell leading XC2. How about this response from Duvall? He lost the lead, but he's not going anywhere. He's camped out on the rear wheels of Strang, and you got to wonder maybe if that's a strategy by the young guy who has gone down hard several times. The 20-year-old has crashed out of a lot of races by pushing the pace up front. So today, maybe he's going to let Strang push the pace. He's trying to learn what it takes to get to the finish. Strang will show you the fast way. These last 2 laps is where he usually puts the hammer down, and he has. He's pulled away a bit from Duvall. Here's Thad, riding smart. And you hear him running low in the RPM range. That's the way Duvall likes to ride. Likes to lug the bike around. Feels like cuts back on wheel spin, cuts back on mistakes. But I think it's all gone the way of Josh Strang down the stretch here. He's got to be feeling good. He wears down Thad Duvall, and he takes his 4th straight overall in the trademark Josh Strang wheelie to celebrate. The undefeated season continues, but this is a moral victory for Thad Duvall to finally put that bike on the podium for the first time ever in second. And that's a major work in progress for that young man. To finish first, you must first finish. Duvall does it, and his teammate Whibley takes third. Let's go to victory lane.
All right, Thad, it's been a long time since we've seen you up here on the podium. You've got to be pretty excited. Tell us how the race went today.
Yeah, I'm super pumped to be up on the podium today. And, the race went awesome. I was led most of the race and just kind of did my own thing all day. I knew Josh was going to be strong at the end. And, I caught him on the last lap and thought I could maybe put a pass on him, but he kicked up a rock and kicked my lens out of my goggles and kind of struggled the last lap, didn't have any goggles on, but super happy with second.
Yeah, good job. Hopefully we see you up here more often.
Yeah, this would be nice.
Yeah, that has gotten overall podiums coming out of the XC2 class. It's the first one as an XC1 rider. Here's your top 10, and let's talk to our winner.
All right, Josh, it's your fourth consecutive win in a row. You had a bit of a bad start, but you made your way to the front. Tell us how today's race went.
It didn't start anywhere near where I wanted it to. Bike didn't fire, and I probably tried to grab too much gas before it's fired, so it was my fault. And it was hard, that first lap there. We went straight into the tight stuff, so you couldn't make any passes, and then after the tight stuff it was just full dust. So it was hard, and I was a little bit frustrated, but I worked my way to the front, and then last couple laps rode with Thad and got him on the second last lap there in the dusty section, so it made it a little bit easier. And then just held on to land. So it was a good day, good for F&F Makita Suzuki, and it's good to get up here again.
XC2 Caleb Russell takes the win and ends up 5th overall on the day in front of his factory KTM teammate Stuart Baylor. Jesse Robinson and Privateer in 3rd. Here's how it all went down today with your race recap. Jimmy Jarrett, Paul Whibley duking it out early on. Josh Strang and Thad Duvall did not have good starts, but they quickly worked their way to the front. Duvall was flying early on his WR 450. Strang was able to get to the number 2 spot, keep some pressure on the kid. Glenn Carney was running strong early on the Husqvarna. He would end up 6th, as Strang continued to close the gap on Duvall, set us up for a great stretch run. Whibley and Mullins battling for 3rd and 4th. They weren't able to get close. Caleb Russell leading the way in XC2. Finally, late in the game, Strang's pressure, relentless, paid off. He was able to get around Duvall, carried all the way to the checkered flags for his 4th race, 4 races run this year. So congratulations to Josh Strang. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.